Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. Actually, it's not. It's my opponent to go first. Now, I've got a lot of heavy tiles in the Z and the X and the V. Through an E, I would have vertex. And I have vex and vexed on my rack. Okay, no E for vertex, but I have a great spot for vexed. Right here for 46 points. Duplicate are not a disaster, and there's no way to do anything about that without taking a big score sacrifice. So I'm going with this. And that's quite a kind pickup. I don't have a bingo, but it's a balanced rack. And I should be able to score with the Z and leave a decent rack leave. Lays is good. Laser isn't, but laser is. Now, do any of those play? The V of Vex has really blocked up the top left of the board. O takes an X and an S after it. Te takes an L after it. So, I have Zell across here. Keeping all the duplicates that I currently have, which isn't ideal. Nothing goes in front of T. So what do I have across from the R? Well, raise, but then the Z isn't getting tripled. So at the moment, Zell is looking like the play. And I don't think the duplicates are disastrous. A and R, probably two of the better tiles to have duplicates of, and 36 points is good, and it's not giving a huge amount away. Just pausing in case there is a better play, and I'm looking in the same spot, maybe a 5-letter word, something like Razel, Razal, but I can't see such a play. Now, I have Rory plus an A. Arriero through an R. Now, I have an A and an O for going underneath the Z, which is good. And my R can go underneath the U of O. I no longer have a tile that can go underneath the Czar. So my two opportunities are to play undergoed or across from EAU. I think given that I have a lead, I'm more inclined to play to keep the ladder going down towards the bottom left. But what does that mean? I've also got the opportunity of playing in column 4 through the G. So a play of Agora or Agori would sort the rack out, but provide a lot of floaters. My A doesn't go underneath the G or the O. So I could play air. I'm leading towards playing Agori to sort the rack out. I think if I do play a play in row L, it'll either leave a bad rack leave or it'll open up column 2 for a high scoring play. Agori has the merit of opening up several lanes. And I think this is way too early in the game and way too small a lead to focus on stifling the board. Now, is Filbird good? If it is, it plays in column 3, making Dar. But am I confusing it with Filbert? Now, through an I would have Bird Life. Nice bingo by my opponent. Now, is Frimbled good? It might be. So what else is there? B and F are difficult bedfellows. quite a few floaters from a tight board. It's become wide open. And I have several candidate bingos, but I'm not sure of any of them. And I do have death for a decent score in column 10. The best lane is row O. So do I have anything through the E? So life, bread, anagram thereof. I've got the B prefix. I've got the ED ending. No I for bird life. So what about the A, the second A of Agori? Can't see anything there. What about the R? Okay, so do I try Frimbled or Filbird? Really tricky. Both of these are just about under my threshold for trying. And this is going to be a significant moment to Phony because I'm 20 points behind, so a play of DEF would keep me right back in it. Whereas a Phony could leave me a long way behind with a tricky rack. 14 minutes on my clock. I think I'm going to go with Filbird. Well, in some ways I won't be sad if this comes off, because the rack I've picked up is atrocious. Well, it hasn't been challenged off and my opponent's bingoed. So 7 consonants means I can just focus on the vowels on the board. Now, what about here for Trek, which sorts out the duplicate T, gets the K doubled and then tripled? 39 points, rack leave. Pretty much as good as I could hope for. Is there a way of improving this slightly? No, I don't think there is. So is there anywhere to score more than 39 points? I don't think so. Wow, what a nice pickup. Having kept 4 consonants, I've drawn 3 vowels and suddenly I've got a balanced rack. There may not be a bingo here. I've got glue pot through the E. I suspect there's a better play than that. Now let's look at the scores. I'm 8 points behind. So neck and neck. Now abutment has opened up a couple of triple word squares. In fact, all 3 triple word squares on the bottom row are available. My P can go underneath the U. So I could play Pout. Leaving quite a nice rack leave. Not fabulous. 38 points is a good score. I'm killing the central triple word square. And I can't see a better play in this spot. Still 1 blank to come. Not a good pickup. Quite a tricky rack to deal with. I do have ING. So, for example, I could play willing in row E. So I think I can sort this rack out. I think I might struggle to score with it, though. Having had 2 scores in the high 30s, I don't think that's going to happen now. Maybe there's something through the E of Milano's. Remaining tiles fairly bingo-y. 3 S's and a blank and several E's out there. Now I can play Weiss in row O. Sorting the rack out 27 points, not bad. Sorting the rack out, Ling certainly could mature into something good if I picked up, say, an A or an E. Floating T of Trek, pretty useful with this rack leave. My opponent's taken out some floaters. Now, is there something better than Weiss? Have I got a 5-letter play at the bottom right? Well, yes, I've got icing for 34 points. Keeping LW. Let me look at the vowel situation. 15 vowels out of 37 tiles. Okay, well, that's fairly even. I think I'm going to stick with Weiss. I don't like the rack leave of WL. I think Ling is far more likely to provide a bingo next turn. And although I'm not looking for a bingo to catch up, pretty much a lot of the time you are looking to maximise your chances of bingoing because that maximises your chances of winning the game, whether you're behind or ahead. Okay. Right. Well, pretty horrendous, but I think it could have been even worse had I kept LW. Now, I goes well with Q because of Chi, and I've also got Chin. So where do any of those play? Wow, another bingo by my opponent. Synovia takes an L after it. I can't use that to good effect. I am now 30 points behind. Unfortunately, I can't put my Q next to this A of Milano's. Only one U to come, no blanks. I could place my Q above the I of Weiss, but then I'm keeping 3 I's. That's not great. I'm thinking about changing QII and keeping Ling, keeping the L for the synovial hook, which I think is good. But is there a way of jettisoning the Q? It's always slightly uneasy. It always makes me feel slightly uneasy changing because I don't like getting 0 points. Is there anywhere for Chin? Yo has really killed the top left of the board. Nothing goes before Phi or after it. Chin could play through the eye of Synovia, but it's essential that I play off at least 1 eye. Still 2 in the bag. I'm going to change. I think I'm going to struggle with this rack. Now, what about changing more Ling? Well, I like Ling. There are openings for ing words on this board. Basically, Synovia, a column 14 play ending Ling could play, and a play through the T of Trek could end Ling. So I'm going with this. I have G-Ling, that plays in column 14, which is perfect. It doesn't play anywhere else. And if my opponent plays in row O, that spot will go. I don't have a 5-letter OJ play, although I'm close to OGM. Nothing through the T. Now my J can go next to the A of Milano's, but I don't have an A or an O, which would give me a 50-point play. Wow, look at that. Nice bingo by my opponent. He's blocked my first spot for G-Ling, but provided a second one. Just pausing in case it plays anywhere else. I don't think it does. I have a slight doubt about this word. I may be confusing it with G-Leeing. Let's see what happens. I draw the Q. Just pausing, waiting for this to be challenged. If it stays on, and I'm whispering to avoid alerting my opponent my doubt, then I'm 6 points behind. I've drawn the Q again, but with only 2 eyes this time. So I could, for example, play G above the eye of Weiss, and it wouldn't be a disaster keeping 2 eyes. I can't play my Q next to the A of Milano's. Ooh, that's a shame. Opponent lost contact or quits. Let's hopefully he will return. Now, while I'm waiting for him to return, I note that I could play Hadji in row A for a huge score. And having the eye and the Q on my rack and the eye of Weiss available means that it's not essential that I jettison the Q straight away. And there's still a U to come. Just 6 tiles in the bag. Okay, well, my opponent hasn't returned, so the game has been adjudicated in my favour, but no adjustment to rating because my opponent was ahead, albeit by just 6 points. Take a look at the remaining tiles. My opponent had 7 of these on his rack. He may have thought that even though he was ahead, he was going to lose because his rack was so awful, and therefore tactically decided to lose contact or quit. Anyway, that's just a possibility. I don't know why he's done that, but it has denied us the opportunity of a potentially very exciting end game. But anyway, final score 368 to me, 374 to my opponent, but game adjudicated in my favour. Let's see what I missed. So, it was my opponent to go first. He played Fiat. I had Vexed. I think that looks best. Opponent plays O. I play Zal for 36. Nothing better, despite the unideal rack leave. My opponent's rack, he plays Goad. And this is where I opened the board up with Agori. And I still like that. It's very easy to worry about keeping the board tight and to play off just a few tiles, keep Val-heavy racks, don't score very much, and suddenly your opponent bingos and you're behind. I like Agori because it is opening the board up in several different ways and sorting the rack out. Now the game exploded into life. My opponent has Milano's, and Filbert is good, and what I didn't spot was Belfried. Just Belfried, which plays in 2 spots, row D and also row O. So well done if you spotted that. Not a terribly obscure word, but a tricky one to spot. Now, nice rack for my opponent. He's got abutment. And I was strucken with horror when I first saw this rack, but Trek certainly got me out of jail with a nice score. Opponent's got a horrible rack. He plays Yo. Now, I played Pout for 38. What was also available was Poilu. Very nice. Getting rid of 5 tiles and scoring 5 more points. Debatable which of these rack leaves is better. So, probably not very much between these plays, but I think Poilu probably edges it. Opponent plays Goo. Now, Owing, where's that? Across from the O of Milano's, keeping CIL. That's pretty good. CIL is a nice looking rack leaf. C and L have some synergy, and that goes well with the T of Trek. Icing I considered. I didn't like the rack leaf. I played Weiss. But look at the difference in score between Weiss and Owing. 12 points. Owing a better play. My opponent's rack. Great spot by him of Sinuvia. Now, this is the play I was considering, Chi above the eye of Weiss for 22, but that rack leave is just horrendous. So I changed. My opponent's rack, and he has Earth P and Heart P. Good spot by him. Great, Geeling was good. I didn't have a good game in terms of confidence on my bingos, but the two which I had doubts about and which I played did both turn out to be okay. And this was the point at which my opponent cut and run. Well, his rack is not as bad as it could have been. However, what can he do with this? Although he does have 2 vowels rather than none, this doesn't look a great rack. So let's have a look at what he could have done. Wow, only one play above 20 points. 0-11 in Kerr. Yeah, but that would have been a pretty decent play for him since he was ahead. Craven F9. Yeah, difficult to see. Okay, so a tricky rack to deal with, but not an impossible one. He wasn't certain to lose if he carried on. Anyway, he did leave, and the game was adjudicated, and that was that. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.